There are a total of 14 assassin brawlers in the game, and so in today's video we're gonna be ranking all of them from the worst to the best assassins, and I'm gonna give you guys the best builds for them all, the best star power, gadget, gears for every assassin brawler. Let's start. Starting off at last place, number 14, we have Miko. Guys, Miko is a very weak brawler in the current meta, and that's mainly because of his very low DPS. He has one of the lowest DPS in the game, and that's also because of his slow reload speed, guys. He has one of the slowest reload speed, and so he's very reliant on his monkey business star power to steal ammo and deal additional damage to counter brawlers. He can be a very pesky assassin on solo game modes like solo showdown and duels, but in most 3v3 or even 5v5 he's very weak in, and good players are great in countering him. He's good in low trophy ranges because a lot of people are not very good at timing their attacks against the Miko. So Miko at last place for our assassins. Next, at number 13, we have Fang. Fang used to be one of the best brawlers in the entire game when he first received his hypercharge, but Supercell decided to nerf it so much, and now it takes eons to get his hypercharge charged up. And so Fang is pretty weak in this current meta. It takes just so long to get that hypercharge. Not just that, his super can also be frustrating to get. He's a pretty squishy brawler in this current meta because the top tier meta is full of high damaging output brawlers and tanky brawlers, high health, lots of anti-assassin type brawlers at the top as well, such as Gale, Mo, Clancy, Surge. All these brawlers just eat up Fang so easily, and so Fang is very weak in this meta. Guys, 9 out of the 14 assassin brawlers have hypercharges. It's one of the heaviest dominant hypercharge categories in the game, guys. Supercell loves giving assassins hypercharges. Unfortunately though, we have Sam at number 12 who lacks a hypercharge, and not having a hypercharge is a kind of a disappointment for Sam, mainly because he's a hybrid between an assassin and a tank. He's very tanky brawler, very high health, and then his ability to go recklessly against enemies directly straight up and take them out, and cycle supers for also insane heal cycles can be very strong. But because of the lack of, you know, a hypercharge, he's also very easily countered by other tanky brawlers. Most tanks with hypercharge are just gonna eat him alive, like Rosa, Primo, Frank, Jackie, of course. They're all just gonna eat him alive, and so Sam kind of struggling in this current meta because of that lack of hypercharge. Next, at number 11, we have Edgar. Edgar is a very interesting brawler, mainly because he's really strong in the low tiers, low trophy ranges, but not very strong in high trophy ranges. Regardless, he can be a very strong counter to common throwers, great against squishy brawlers, and so I feel like Edgar is a pretty underrated brawler in that regard, but he's also super overrated because he's also one of the most popularly played brawlers in the game because of just how easy and basic of a brawler he is. Pop a gadget, get your super easily, jump, auto aim attack, very easy basic brawler to play with. He can be very strong in the solo game modes like solo showdown and duels, but struggles heavily in 3v3 game modes, doesn't really have the range, then gets countered by tanks and assassin counters like Shelly, of course, Surge, Gale. All of these brawlers just counter him too easily in 3v3. Next, at number 10, we have Leon. Leon is a super dangerous brawler in the low trophy ranges, low ranked modes, and that's mainly because he's a brawler that a lot of people get caught off guard against, and he can cycle his supers, and then combine it with the Invisi-Heal star power, he can be a menace, constantly cycling supers. But at high ranges, good players are very good at understanding when Leon does have his super, getting closer to your teammates, for example, grouping up, and you can counter Leon pretty easily, effectively. And so you don't really see Leon played at all in pro competition at the moment. Because of that, he can be a very easy brawler to counter in the higher ranges. At number 9, we have Buzz, another very powerful assassin brawler, very easy to use actually, very auto aim friendly. If you go up close to an enemy, use your super, you can stun them, and then of course auto aim. He can be a very easy brawler to play with. He's a great counter to a lot of brawlers too, especially squishy brawlers. Unfortunately though, Buzz doesn't really have the DPS or the health to beat most tanky brawlers and assassin counters. He can be very easy to counter with a brawler like Surge, Shelly, Gale, and on top of that, most tanks are gonna be easily able to counter Buzz, and so this makes Buzz a last pick brawler in most ranked modes. But he can also be a very good carry brawler. Good players that know how to utilize his stun and hypercharge are gonna be able to carry with them very effectively. And then we have Crow at number 8. Crow has become a very powerful brawler ever since they buffed up his hypercharge rate. So he gets his hypercharge quicker now, and he can deal immense damage. He's a very big threat on heist because of that. He's a great counter to throwers and low health brawlers because of his super. He can jump in on those threats, take them out pretty easily. The main issue with Crow is his overall DPS. Without his hypercharge, he doesn't have very good damage. From a distance, he can deal good poison tick damage, and so he's a decent brawler. Overall, a good brawler, especially on gem grab for scouting bushes like double swish map, undermine. But when it comes to dealing with high tanky brawlers, especially in this current meta, there's just so many brawlers with high health, hypercharges, of course, on top of that, adding more shield. And so Crow kind of struggles in the top tier meta because of that. And then we have Lily at number 7. Lily is always a very dangerous brawler, and that's mainly because of her broken vanish gadget. It's the best gadget in the entire game because it basically allows you to escape whenever, you know, she's getting in trouble, or she can just use that vanish gadget and come close to an enemy, charge her super just with her trait by being near the enemies. And then of course her attack and super are very easy to use. Get up close, you can auto aim it, deal mass amount of damage. They buffed her attack up by giving her 2 attack slots, so she can deal a lot of damage, and she can be a very big threat because of that. Next, at number 6, we have Cordelius, another Shadow Realm brawler, and Cordelius is a super versatile brawler because of that. He has so many things he can do. He can go into Shadow Realm, take advantage of the enemy by not allowing them to use their super, of course. He's got a jump gadget and then the mute gadget, so he's super versatile in that regard. He can use his jump gadget to jump over walls, get the enemy throwers or squishy brawlers, or he can use his mute gadget to counter assassins like here. All of these assassins, actually, you can use his mute gadget. And then his hypercharge is super strong, guys, because his trait also charges his hypercharge, so that makes it easier for Cordelius to get it. And when he uses his hypercharge with his super, it's pretty much a free kill because the enemy can't escape. They get slowed down, and then Cordelius also gets powered up. He does additional damage, giving him a very easy kill. So Cordelius is an excellent assassin that also counters assassins. And then moving on to the top 5 brawlers, guys, we have Mortis at number 5. Mortis has one of the deadliest hypercharges in the entire game. You guys know what's up with Mortis. The moment he's got that hypercharge super, you're in danger because double the heal, double the damage. He can turn the tides of an entire game with just one hypercharge super, guys. Get the supers, chain supers, making him one of the deadliest brawlers in the game because of that hypercharge. Next, at number 4, we have Melody. Now, Melody was a very underrated brawler for a long time until a lot of people saw what pro players in the World Championships were able to do, especially Tempo with the Melody. Melody has always been a super strong brawler on heist, that ability to just dive in on the enemy heist safe just by using your super, going from point A to point B. And then she's also a very strong brawler on open area Brawl maps, the ability to dribble with the ball from one area to the other and just score easily, especially also 5v5 game modes these days becoming more popular. She's a very strong brawler in 5v5. In other game modes, adding a support brawler such as a Gus with a shield for Melody, or even a healer, or even a kit support can make Melody a very powerful brawler in this current meta. Now, moving on to the top 3 assassins, we have Stu at 3rd place now. Thanks to his newest hypercharge, combining with the Ghastly heal star power, you got infinite heals and mobility for the duration of that hypercharge, making Stu a very powerful brawler, especially at the top tier as well. He's so good at countering throwers and squishy brawlers, snipers, super good into a lot of things. That hypercharge also makes him a very good brawler now on even Brawl Ball carrying. You can dribble with the ball, score. You can make so many great plays with them. He's a demon on most maps because of that. But also because of his low DPS, you want to make sure to use Stu as a late pick rather than an early pick, as he can also be countered pretty easily by a tanky composition, especially a composition that has a healer. Next, moving on to the top 2 assassins. At number 2, we have Kenji. Now, Kenji is one of the best brawlers in the entire game, so I'm guessing you guys know what's coming at number 1, I hope. But speaking of Kenji, guys, he's still one of the strongest brawlers in the game, and that's mainly because of his attributes. He has very high health for an assassin, very fast movement speed, of course. On top of that, he's got so much bulkiness to his build. A Hosumaki healing gadget that allows him to heal back by taking damage, and then his Nijiri Nemesis star power that reduces damage after, you know, not taking damage for 5 seconds. This makes him super versatile pretty much everywhere. And then on top of that, that's trait. He's got a healing trait. He's the only brawler in the game that has multiple ways to heal from a trait and a gadget. No other brawler has that, and that makes Kenji a super dominant brawler, always a big threat, a super that feels like that's undodgeable sometimes. Yeah, Kenji is insane, and I'm expecting another nerf for him him, but for now, he's top 2. Moving on to number 1, the best brawler in the entire game. Well, also the best assassin is Shade, guys. Shade is broken. This bro, guys, he can shoot through walls. He can go through walls. He has fast movement speed. He does very good damage around the walls. He's got a gadget that extends his range so that he can also charge his super easier. His super charges easily because he has the trait, same trait as the Buzz and the Lily. With enemies near him, he can charge his super for free. So this makes him super strong on solo game modes, makes him super strong on 3v3. He gets speed, guys. He gets speed with his super. Every time he uses it, that star power, he gets additional speed. He can stack speeds with his super. It's just so much that Shade can do. Absolute broken brawler. So there you guys have it, the complete ranking of all assassin type brawlers in Brawl Stars. Hope you guys enjoyed the rankings and also best builds. A lot of these brawlers are underrated. Let me know what you guys think of the ratings and what brawlers you feel are underrated or overrated in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching.